Can you believe it? Time is flying. And what is happening with the Bitcoin and altcoin crypto market, like Solana, Litecoin, etc., XRP, and so on? Well, after that nice little dump we had yesterday, followed by that nice little rise we had, where many alts and Bitcoin also hit some very nice targets to the downside and then popped back up to the upside. We're seeing now the markets move back towards the downside on the returns. Price action is following. And yeah, that's why we say take your profits early and often. And don't swing trade volatility. Because you go to sleep on a like 10%, 12%, 20% move to the upside or more, right? Like if you caught the whole dump on Solana, just on that last part of the move, really, it was like a 50% drop, followed by, or 40, whatever it was, 48% drop, followed by like a 50% rise in one day. And you obviously did not have to catch the whole thing. I think you only caught half of that. That's a tremendous amount of a move for one day without any leverage whatsoever. That's a significant move, right? Same thing happened, I think, on XRP or whatever. But there were some very nice moves on these coins. And yeah, if you caught the bottom of the low wick, great, good for you. But obviously most people would not have, because what was happening down there was a liquidity event. You could see it. And as the price was tumbling down, more and more traders were getting wrecked. And right now this was happening again, right? As the price is coming back down a little bit, those who along the bottom but then didn't take their profit yesterday when they hit those targets on the VRE chart, as we showed it would probably do in the alpha trading live stream, and it did. We said, take your profits, right? Just like when it was going down, we were posting in the channels, take your profits, right? And even saying to people, you know, when it was hitting those first really juicy targets, you know, people were saying, you know, in the peanut gallery, they were saying, yeah, let's short it here. But that wasn't, I mean, you could have shorted it there if you were trading low time frames, or at least if you were monitoring your trade intraday properly and took your profit when it got at or near the lows. But most people wouldn't have done that. Most people shorted when it was already falling and had fallen most of the way. And then they shorted when it was down there or even lower, right, near the bottom. And then as soon as it turned around, because they were obviously over leveraged, they got wrecked because it bounced up very quickly, right? Why? Because all the assets, right, that got wrecked, all the positions that got wrecked, switched from short hands to long hands. And suddenly the people who had long hands, who had all that profit now in their hands, were just adding on more longs. So they got all that profit going back to the upside. But did they actually take it out? Obviously some people did, because the returns are dropping and the price action is following to the downside. But a lot of people, you know, did not. A lot of longs thought, oh, that's it. That was the final bounce before we go to the moon. It's, you know, proof is in the pudding. Every time the assets move 1, 2, 3%, tons of people get wrecked. And that can only mean that they're trading with super high leverage, 33%, 50, you know, 33x, 50x, 100x or more. Right? There's sites now that offer crypto 125x on Binance and 300x or 400x on like MEXC or whatever. It's insane. Like, think about a 400x trade on an asset that moves 40 or 50% in one direction in a day and then back in the other direction the same day. What's this say? What country am I? Oh, hey, I'm in Israel. I'm in northern Israel. Hello from northern Israel. Is where I am. Yeah, so it is absolutely crazy that people are taking out high leverage trading crypto on days like yesterday. And by the way, days like yesterday, a lot of people I hear say, "Oh my God, it's so volatile. I got to avoid the market." If you're a volatility trader, you dream of yesterday happening over and over again, right? Groundhog Day came a day too late, right? It should have been Sunday, but actually Sunday was a good day too. But obviously Monday was just amazing, right? But even Sunday had good action. So maybe it is Groundhog Day. Maybe if we have another crazy day of volatility today, it'll be Groundhog Day every day while there's high volatility. And while the entropy is good on the low time frames, moving along very nicely as it was yesterday, as it always does, because the entropy is constantly telling you if the asset is in what? Mean reversion? No, is in a random walk or a trending move. Right? You can tell that from entropy, and you can tell the direction it's going with the correlation, either the Shannon entropy profile or percentile, or the alpha squared entropy power percentile, the A2.EPP. But yeah, the alpha mean of entropy, or the entropy pro indicator, shows you the direction when you combine it with the correlation, right? And it's built into the same indicator, so you don't have to, it's like our AVR. It has a combination of the volatility and the correlation. Our entropy indicator also has a combination of the entropy and the correlation, which is extremely useful for scalping, but also even higher time frame trades. Right? And so what did the assets really do? When they dumped out, they were, in most cases, mean reverting on higher time frames like daily, 2-day, 3-day, 5-day, 7-day. And what do they do when they bounce back up? They were distributing away from the means. Just like they always do, right? So assets either distribute away from the means of returns, or they mean revert to the mean of returns. That's all they do: distribute and mean revert. So if they just finished distributing to the upside, look on lower time frames where there are mean reversions happening to the downside. Don't be surprised if you see that, because that's exactly what's happening on lower time frames, right? And we know that because you can observe it at any time on any asset. It's always like that. There's no situation in which that doesn't happen. It's either doing one thing or the other, right? It's either distributing or mean reverting, depending on the time frame you're looking at, right? Like it can be mean reverting and distributing at the same time, but just on different time frames. Meaning on the daily, it could be in distribution right now because it completed that mean reversion to the 3012. So it could still be in mean reversion or distribution, right? But on like the 1 hour or the 4 hour, it might be in mean reversion, right? I mean, just as an example, that could happen at any time on any asset. So that's ultimately why we're seeing these wonderful little swings back and forth around the mean, because that's all returns do. What does it say? Your mom is a very good listener. And what? I go the one. What? Hello, African. Good to see you. The last two comments were made are kind of grotesque. If I had the ability to delete your comments here, I would, but I'm not sure how to do that on this phone. Anyway, hopefully I'll be able to delete them later. But anyway, that is why Bitcoin and crypto and altcoins have been moving the way they do, right? It's not news stories. News stories are just narrative to fill in the blanks for clueless sheep who have no idea how markets actually work. And when I say clueless sheep, I don't mean they're not intelligent people in possibly every other, or any other area of life. I just mean when it comes to trading, most people are clueless sheep because they've been misled, misinformed, deceived, right? Lied to. Like, for example, the lie that says past performance does not indicate future returns. I'm sure you've all heard that at one point or another, listening to some ads for some financial products. Well, the RMLR disproves that 100%, like virtually 100%. Okay, call it 99.999 or 99.7%. It disproves that. Okay. Is it 100% of the time? Nothing's 100%. But is it really, really close? Yeah, it's really, really close. So again, alpha trading tools disprove a lot of the lies that have been told by the financial system. And we're here to help students of trading learn a better way to trade. Bottom line, right? We want people who are learning to trade to not get wrecked by using over-leveraged swing trade positions or with other poor risk management concepts like stop-loss orders. A stop-loss order is nothing but a market order that you preload, and you're telling the exchange where your pain point is and where you're willing to surrender and raise the white flag. Well, they see you putting that white flag up long before you ever click that button because they know exactly where it is. They know where to go get your money. You're telling them with a big flag, hey, I'm not willing to go below this, or I'm not willing to go above that. And they know your exit point. And once you start playing with it, it gets even worse. Every time you touch it, they have more history about your habits. They know how to psychologically break you better because they think, well, they know for the most part, people are very emotionally attached to their trades. So the more they can get you emotionally attached to your trade, which they do by increasing pain more than pleasure, by the way, the easier it is for them to take your money. I'm not even joking. Like, it's a known fact that people will stay in a trade longer despite the fact that they're losing than they'll stay in a winning trade. When you have some profits, if you're not necessarily smart, but you feel the jitters of, well, I've got profits, I better take the money before it disappears, and the fear of losing the profits is greater than the fear of missing out on what comes next, right? Then as a basic trader, well, great, you realize profits, but you'll have been in that trade less time than if you were the same person on a different day or in a different trade, having the fear of losing money be less than the fear of missing out on more profits, right? And they know that most of the time people fall into that category, and they don't want to lose. They don't want to lose potential profits, more like potential additional profits, more than they don't want to lose money. People are more willing to lose money on a bad trade and convince themselves that it's okay to be in it than they are to pull the Band-Aid off, confirm that they lost a couple of bucks, and then start again. This is how humans are. We are irrational, right? And for the most part, if you're not, even if you're aware that you're irrational, you may not make the right decisions because you're irrational and your irrationality has such power over you. And that's totally normal. And the way to get over it is really to practice, right? Practice, 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 because practice makes perfect. That's how it works. So that's going to do it for now. Hope you all have a wonderful day. I'm sitting here. I hear the birds chirping under the trees where I am. And there's a bunch of, well, supposedly chickens not far away, unless they've been culled, and it's quite quiet. So I think the latest batch has been dispatched, so to speak. Well, who knows? Maybe they're just all sleeping. But I doubt it. Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you guys later. Happy trading. If you want to learn to trade volatility, entropy, probability, and statistics, come on in and get the free volatility starter pack at alphatradinghq.com/discord. That's alphatradinghq.com/discord. And we do live streams in our Discord. We start at 11 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, Monday through Saturday. We also stream out to Rumble at the same time, like live stream or whatever it's called. So go ahead and join the Alpha Trading Discord. It's totally free. Get your free volatility starter pack of indicators. Get your free education. Learn how to use the tools for free. And if you like what you see, after you've learned how to use them, you can try our Pro Traders subscription package, which our volatility starter package. They are pro tools, but we have more advanced versions of them and more advanced indicators, far more advanced indicators, like the RMLR that tells you about the future of the reverse mean log returns. And yeah, come on and get all that stuff. Come learn for free, and you can try our Pro Trader subscription for free as well. Like I said, after you learn the basics, and it's highly recommended you do that, because if you just jump in to the paid version without trying the basics and learning them, you might not get it. But there are some people who disprove that, who are confident that they can just learn it well, and they jump in head first with the pro tools, and they're off to the races learning. It takes a special kind of person. If you're that kind of ambitious learner, then certainly feel free to give that a shot. And our Pro Trader subscription is really cheap if you decide to subscribe. So and you get like up to, the package is like a couple of dozen indicators or something, but we have more than like 40 indicators in total, which is crazy. The amount of indicators you get for such a cheap price, it's unbelievable. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Happy trading. Peace.